Today we're talking all about softboxes. Hey guys, welcome to Phlearn. My name is Aaron Nace. You can find me on Twitter at AKNacer. We're here with Ashley Brem. She's our awesome model for the day. And you can find her on Twitter at Mercedes Brems. Today, we're talking all about softboxes. We've got a few softboxes here and we've got a light setup. This is a relatively simple light setup. It's a 3-light setup. Basically, we've got a hair light here in the back. This is our main light and here's our fill. Our camera is just off this way. And we're gonna talk all about what softboxes do, how to use them, and we're gonna even go into some different configurations. So in case you guys have any questions about how to actually use the softboxes and what they're used for, this is gonna be the perfect episode for you. So basically what a softbox is, it's a lighting modifier that's used to imitate what would be like window light. So the biggest difference between like a softbox and an umbrella is the light that hits an umbrella is gonna kind of scatter everywhere. What a softbox is really good at is keeping your light relatively directional. So it's gonna come out in one direction. It can be relatively soft, thus the name softbox, because it's got diffusion panels, which we'll show you in a minute, but the light is gonna come from one direction. So if you attach your light, we'll go ahead and take this light softbox off of light now. It's relatively simple, depending on your lighting modifier and your light. We're using Paul C. Buff Einsteins here with Paul C. Buff collapsible softboxes. There's just a little lever here on the side. Can you zoom in, see the lever there? There's a lever and all you really have to do is push that down and your softbox is gonna come right off. So we've got what's called a speed ring right here, and this is what's going to attach your softbox to your light. Now softboxes come in a lot of different sizes and shapes. So we've got, this is just a medium 24x36 softbox here. We've got an Octabox and we've also got a strip box we're gonna be using today. They're all softboxes, they're just different sizes and different shapes. So to bring your softbox back on, all you have to do is you've got a couple little clasps. Again, this is gonna change depending on what brand you're using. Like a Pro Photo is just gonna slip on and then you've got a Titan ring. Every single brand is different, but the concept is the same. Slip them over top of your light, like so, and you're good to go. So this is our fill light right now. This is basically gonna be a light that's pretty close to the camera, that's at a little bit lower power than my other lights. These are our main lights here. They're gonna light our subject up, and then this is just gonna fill in a little bit of the shadows. Now with every softbox, you're gonna get what's called diffusion panels, and most softboxes are gonna have 2 diffusion panels. We're gonna go ahead and take off this outside diffusion panel so you can see what we've got on the inside, on the guts of our softbox here. We've got another diffusion panel. We can go ahead and pull this off as well, and you're gonna get something that's a little bit more like a raw reflector. Now, there's really no right or wrong whenever you're using a softbox or any lighting modifier. If you want to take both of these things off, what you're going to get is something that looks like a relatively large like pan reflector, almost something like a beauty dish without, a center cap, but it's just going to be a larger reflector and it's going to be a little bit harder of a light. So you can totally do that. Lighting is it's a totally fun game where you can do whatever you want. It's gonna produce a little bit of a different result if it's gonna be a lot harder light, but you might want that for some of your photo shoots. So there's really no right or wrong here. Basically, we've got our light inside of our softbox. This is just a collapsible Octabox, which is really nice because it can kind of get together and be taken apart very, very quickly. Now we've got our front diffusion panel here, and basically what happens is the light that's behind this is gonna travel forward and hit this diffusion panel. When it hits this diffusion panel, what it's going to do is it's going to send the light hit back into the softbox again. So a hard light source is basically, something that it's not traveling through any light. It's gonna have very hard shadows and it's, basically something without any diffusion between it. A soft light source is gonna be a little bit of a larger light source. So what this does is it sends their light hitting this piece of fabric and then back into the softbox, and then it's gonna come back out again. And by the time it comes back out again, it's going to be blocked again by this outer piece of diffusion fabric. So you're going to lose a bit of light. You can see the light, it's not traveling directly from your light source. It's going to kind of bounce around inside of your softbox a few times, but by the time it finally comes out, it's going to be a nice, soft, glowing light. And that's what it's called a softbox for, because inside of it, it actually bounces around. So by the time it's coming out of your subject, it's just like a big light. And it's going to be evenly lit. The idea is that it's evenly lit from the top all the way to the bottom. So we've got this much light kind of flooding out very evenly towards our subject. Super cool. Like anything in photography, there's going to be a lot of size differences and variations on your lighting modifiers, whether there's umbrellas, whether they're actually like metal reflectors, or whether they're softboxes. So you do have a lot of variations. Behind me we have an Octabox. This is a medium-sized Octabox, and it is a softbox. It's called an Octabox because it has 8 sides. Now, one of the primary reasons why you would want to use an Octabox instead of a rectangular softbox is what's called the catchlight in a person's eye. It's going to be more of a round-shaped catchlight in a person's eye, and it's going to closer imitate like the sun or a natural light source. So oftentimes having a round catchlight in a person's eye looks a little bit more natural. So if you are using an Octabox, it's oftentimes best to use it as a key light. Now, I could put this behind her and use it as a rim light too. That's not a big deal. But if you are using an Octabox, it's great to get that key light right in the person's eye. The next light we're talking about is our strip box, and this is also a softbox. It's just a long, thin softbox. These are great when you don't want to light a lot of your subject. In this case, we're using it as a hair light. So the light is going to come right here, and it's going to light Ashley's hair, a little bit on her shoulders as well. So it's great because I don't need it lighting. If it was a very large light source, it would start to light the background, it would start to light the front of her, and I want this light to light the front of her. Now, it's not really that important if they're the same power ratio, but what if this one was stronger and this one was a little bit more weak? We didn't want a lot of light coming from the background. That's why we can only hit, just part of her hair with this, and then we're gonna hit basically her face. We're not gonna hit your face, but the light will touch her face gracefully. So using a strip box oftentimes is really good for a hair light. Also things like rim light, like if we were to place one directly back here and directly back here, it would just kind of light a long strip. This light that we have here is just a medium-sized softbox, and this is like your average workhorse softbox. This is, right now it's being a fill light, so it's shining light and just filling in some of our shadows. But this, you could do anything. You could use this as a rim light, as a hair light. It's just a very, very average size softbox that you could use for just about anything. Most of the softboxes that we use in our studio are what we would consider normal or average size. They do get very small if you wanted to do something a little more specific. Like a 2 by 2 foot Octabox you could put like right here in subject's face. Especially if you're shooting with like speed lights, you're gonna get a lot smaller of a softbox. Something that's probably maybe even foldable or collapsible, maybe even out of foam. They do get really big as well. They get up the way up to 8 feet in diameter. So these are kind of like extreme examples. You don't always need something that large. For the majority of what you're gonna be shooting, these standard sizes are gonna work for pretty much everything you've got. So softboxes are designed to shine out in one direction. You can see in the back of our softboxes, it's just dark material back here. So there's not gonna be any light that's actually coming out of the back of the softbox. It's gonna come out of the front of the softbox. So they are shining in one direction, but usually they're not as directional. They're gonna kind of do this. If you want to make sure that they are shining out, in a straight beam of light, that's when you would use one of these grids. So you can buy grids for all of your softboxes. Again, these are Policy Buff softboxes, so we're using Policy Buff grids. This is a grid for the Octabox. It's really nice. They just have Velcro on the outside. So what they do is they just kind of Velcro into place. And this is something you can do relatively quickly during a photo shoot. And what they're gonna do is restrict your light source. So it's gonna make sure that, now instead of maybe lighting your entire subject, they're only gonna light part or, half of your subject. And again, this is all dependent on what you actually wanna get out of the photo shoot. Sometimes you wanna make sure that you do light a large area of your subject. In this case, it's gonna make sure that this light, for instance, is not necessarily going to hit my background. It's going to come out just in this direction. It's not going to go that way and cause any flare in the camera. It's just going to stay right where my subject is. So that's using grids, and that's about it for modifiers for your modifiers. So now that we know what these softboxes do, let's go ahead and put them into use. We're going to make a couple different lighting configurations and show you guys some different things that you can do with we're going to use 3 softboxes and create a couple different looks out of them. So that's pretty much everything I know about softboxes. If you guys have anything else you'd like to add, please leave it in a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll Phlearn you later. Bye, everyone.